Hey y'all, before we get started, I just want to let you know this month has been a little bit heavy. So the following video contains some dark things that have been going on in my life recently and may not be suitable for all viewers. I'm giving you the time now to click away. Okay? Thank you. Hello, all my merrymakers. I am Becca, and welcome to Let's Talk Tuesday, February. For anybody who has been coming back, been here, done that, bought the t-shirt, thanks. I really do appreciate it. You coming back helps my channel. For anybody new here and checking me out, welcome. You're in for a treat. Let's Talk Tuesday is my either sit and knit or crochet and chat, depending on what project I feel like needs to be worked on. And I usually talk about what's been going on that's not yarning related in my life because, believe it or not, even though I am a yarn enthusiast, there are other things going on in my life other than yarn. And if you've been following me, you know that this month has been a doozy. So, grab your project. We might be here for a while. So let me talk about the project I'm working on, and then we'll delve into what happened in January. So I am working on the baby blanket that I've been working on. This is mandala. I think this is just the regular cake. It's not the baby. It's not the bonus bundle. It's the regular. I believe this color is called Wood Nymph. Don't quote me on that. I am knitting on the bias. And this is, if I can get the light to shine just right on my knitting needles, these are 4.0 millimeter, also known as US size 6. The pattern that I'm kind of following is called Magic Number Blanket. It's basically just a variation on Granny's favorite washcloth, if you've ever made that one. You know, you start in the corner and you increase until you reach the desired size, and then you start to decrease. It's just this one has no holes, which is what was requested from the person who is for. And this is square 4. I don't remember if I said that or not. So January. Bit of a month. Woo, doggy. So if for any reason y'all don't know, on January 13th, because up until January 13th, everything was pretty much, for lack of a better term, normal. My life started to go crazy. So I had felt poorly the day before. Actually slept in for once, which made that morning really super hectic. And stuff. And I can't remember what else happened that day, but it was one of those days where a lot of little things were going wrong, and by the time noon rolled around, I was ready to be done. So at 1:53 p.m. that day, I got a call from my son's public school saying, "Hey, your son fell and hurt his arm. We need you to come and take a look at this and, see if he needs to go to see a doctor." So we elected for my husband to go since I was still feeling very poorly. And I was like, I don't want to get anybody else sick, and he called me and he's like, there is something wrong here. There's something very wrong here. So I said, take him to the emergency room. It's like, you got to listen to that parental gut instinct. Well, took him to the emergency room. His arm was broken, such to the point that the orthopedian did not feel comfortable in setting Trey's arm. So we got referred to the local children's hospital. We checked in at 7 p.m. And we didn't get a room until almost 10 p.m. And then, like, the whole time we were like, okay, he's probably going to need surgery. When is his surgery? Oh, first thing in the morning, so he can't eat. That was midnight. He did not get, and of course, the whole time we're in the emergency room. And there's one chair, and it's freezing in there. So by the time morning rolls around, I'm sick. Let's just put it that way. I can tell I'm sick, and I can tell I need to go home, and I can tell that I need to get some good sleep. So my mom, who was kind enough to watch our 5-year-old, picks me up, takes me home. Trey finally gets his surgery somewhere around 11 o'clock. And then by 2 p.m. the next day, we get checked out. Well, because of this, we decided to go ahead and move forward with homeschooling. And I knew in my heart of hearts that my son's education had been lacking because he is hard to teach. That's one of the drawbacks of having autism and ADHD at a very young age. That's higher support needs. So I had a feeling they were pushing him on to the next grade without actually teaching him the things he needed to be taught. And that was very much shown to be the truth. And so even though he's supposed to be in 5th grade, we're reviewing a lot of the stuff he should have learned in 4th grade and 3rd grade. That's mostly the English part, which doesn't surprise me because, again, I don't know if I've said this before on my channel. My son has a condition in his eyes which literally make it almost impossible for his eyes to focus. His glasses help, but it also wouldn't surprise me if he was oh, my brain is going blank. That condition where you flip letters and numbers. There's also another condition where you have problems with capitalization. Like, I think he has both. God, I honestly cannot remember the name of that condition, but I have it too. Dyslexia. Mine is very slight, whereas I think his is worse. So, reading is not his strong suit. And, on top of that, he's autistic, so that makes him very literal. It makes for a difficult time to learn English, which is a very messed up language. So, it didn't surprise me, but it definitely was just like, well, kind of foresaw that and kind of knew it was going to happen. So we have a little extra work to do. But it also meant that his sessions were taking way longer than the sessions for my 5-year-old, who should be in kindergarten, but is doing things at a second grade level. So whereas he is behind, she is ahead. So, like, she gets done in 5 to 10 minutes tops. And, we had to break his down into 2 15-minute sessions. So, it made us have to change our schedule and the way we did things. And we're much happier now. So yay. And then Saturday, just as we were getting ready to go to a birthday party, this is February 1st, by the way, we got a text from my husband's uncle saying that my husband's mother had been submitted to ICU for emergency surgery because she was having internal bleeding. Now, my mother-in-law has been in hospice for quite a while. It's been kind of a saga with her as well. Like, my hair is doing something weird. Sorry, it's bugging me. She fell and broke her hip. And while she was healing from that, she suffered a stroke. And so she was getting healed from that. And then she got COVID, which turned into pneumonia. So it's been, and on top of this, she has, she's bipolar. And so it makes for a very difficult situation, and some days she doesn't remember why she's where she's at. She accuses her husband of stuff he would never do because, he absolutely adores the ground she walks on, even though she's a very volatile person sometimes. But they think they found the source of the internal bleeding and took out her gallbladder, which I didn't know a gallbladder being in peril could make you have internal bleeding. I guess, any, fine, go down, I don't care. Any, organ in peril can make you have internal bleeding. But last we knew, she was in ICU again, healing from that surgery. So, yeah. It's like, Jane, stop this crazy thing. I would like to get off. From the Jetsons. And if you're not old enough to know that reference, okay. I don't know how else to state that. Maybe more Futurama, stop the world, I'd like to get off, please. So, even though today was a good day for, like, the kids, oh my goodness, today was a great day for the kids. Like, even though my youngest had to go to the dentist, she behaved very well at the dentist. They spoke very nicely to each other. They were sharing without having to be told to share. Now, they did have to be told to clean up after themselves, but, I will take that. I will take that all the way to the bank. And if you're a mother or a father or a caretaker of any sort of small children, that is big. So, I'm just saying. But we're hoping, knock on wood, that the rest of the month is very uneventful. 'Cause, yeah. my husband is trying to see how well his mother heals, because that will determine how quickly he goes to visit her, because this definitely has put to his mind that, no, I need to visit my mom sooner rather than later, because the last time we saw her was almost 4 years ago, I think, at this point. So he's like, no, I need to see my mom. It's definitely becoming more of a real thing. It might be the last time that he ever sees her, which, makes us sad, but as somebody who used to be a medical professional, when it comes to hospice, you either get better or you don't, unfortunately. And, she is not a good candidate to get better, and we know that. So, I know that's kind of depressing to talk about. But again, the whole thing about Let's Talk Tuesdays is this is my reality, It's not all yarn cakes and stitch markers. Although I do have some yarn coming. Which I will be sharing with you guys later on this week, when we talk about the choices for hand-dyed fiber for March. I'm still trying to think of a catchy title for that. If y'all have any suggestions about the hand-dyed yarn, the Yarn a Month Club or whatever, But yeah, it is not even 8 o'clock and both kids are asleep in bed. So I need to go to sleep and get in bed. Switch that. Reverse it. Thank you. Let me see if there's anything else I would like to talk about before I let you go. Oh, did I mention my son's birthday is coming up? He is about to be 11. And, I know he turned 10 last year, which made him officially double digits. But for some reason, this feels like even more officially double digits. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone else. But it's like, oh my gosh, he is like 2 years away from being a teenager. Which is a little bit like, okay, statistically, I've only got a couple more years left before he starts really fighting me on some stuff. But, I'm the kind of mom that has already been talking to him like he's an actual, real life person and not just a child, because he is mature enough to handle it most of the time. So I'm really interested in seeing what the next couple of years have in store for me in that route. Alright, I do believe that's it. Sorry if today's topic was a little bit of a downer, but again, this is my life. If you did happen to like this video, like the fact that I am being very real about what my life is, what is going in my life, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I mean, if you hit the thumbs down button, I get it. This is a little bit sad. Feel free to comment down below. It helps my analytics. If you're not subscribed yet, I've got a lot of yarning content. This is not it, but I do have a lot of yarning content. And if that's your job, make sure you hit subscribe, plus the notification bell. And if you really want to help this channel grow, share this video with everyone you know. And in the meantime, especially if you're having a bad month like me, make what makes you merry. Ciao.